Well, that was something, wasn't it? WrestleMania 34 has just wrapped up. It's 4:30 in the morning. I'm bloody knackered. But so much stuff happened. With that in mind, I'm Jules of WhatCulture.com. And this is WrestleMania 34, What Went Down. So first up, the men's battle royale. I'm not going to bore you with who got eliminated. All I need to tell you is that Matt Hardy, Woken Matt Hardy, won. And you know what? That felt like the right win. Not the way that I thought it was going to happen though, because spooky dude Bray Wyatt appeared and helped him out, potentially forming a new tag team partner, or tag team stable with him, Matt Hardy, and Jeff Hardy, maybe further down the line. The match itself was pretty, like, you know, battle royale style thing where it's a bit clusterfuck, but, you know, the right man won. This seems like it's the right trajectory, and now he can take that giant action figure Andre the Giant Karamak statue home with him, back to whatever dimension he came from. So then we went on to the Cruiserweight division's crowning of the champion, and it was between Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali. I wanted Mustafa Ali to win because I think that he has got a fantastic story of, you know, sticking with the WWE for a long, long time, and then finally getting a reward, the platform to prove himself. But unfortunately, Cedric Alexander won, which a lot of the people here thought was the right decision, and it was a fantastic match. It was fast-paced, high-flying, exactly what you'd expect from the newly revamped 205 Live, and I think that this is possibly the right direction for the division. It was the little man's league, but now eyes are on it. Now on to the women's battle royale, which again was quite messy in terms of the actual action going on. There was lots of cuts to John Cena, which actually meant that we didn't see people getting eliminated, so great job on the editing there, but then that's going to happen with live matches such as this. Having the Sasha Banks and Bayley having a nice little story continuing their rivalry was good, but it was a bit confusing towards the end when Naomi came out and just apparently wasn't eliminated. But again, we didn't know that thanks to some bad cuts. She won in succinct fashion, and she got to take home that horrible, horrible mustard-coloured moon cup. It was an okay match. So now on to the actual main show, and we kick things off with the IC title match between Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and the one and only Miz, who looked utterly bizarre and fantastic, like a steampunk Aladdin bellboy coming down. It was a really, really good match. Like, I really enjoyed the story that they're telling here about the fact that they are all equally proficient in the ring, yet they're always just... no one's the clear victor in this. Like, Finn will win a few times, Miz will win a few times, Seth will win, but Seth became the champion with a lovely finish, basically doing a curb stomp onto the back of Finn Balor, who was already on top of the Miz, to break the pin, capitalise on the victory, and he has now joined the ranks of his fellow Shield members as a Grand Slam champion. Really enjoyed that, and the perfect way to kick off the WrestleMania main show. Asuka versus Charlotte. Now, this divided a lot of people. The match itself was phenomenally good. Like, technically proficient. It told a great story of two champions who would not budge. It was the immovable object versus the unstoppable force. But Charlotte won. That's not the trajectory that everyone thought was going to happen, but still, the Golden Goddess came out on top, and, well, I have to admit, I really enjoyed this. I'm not saying that they should have ended Asuka's streak, but if they didn't, she would have to lose at some time. And there's no better place to lose it than at WrestleMania, and no better person to lose it to than Charlotte Flair. So, the US Championship match. This was interesting, full of surprises, which seems to be the common thread of WrestleMania 34. There were surprises aplenty because now Jinder Mahal is the US Champion. Suspiciously, around the time that they're going to Saudi Arabia to do that big battle royale. I'm not saying the two are linked, but they're definitely linked. It wasn't the best match, but it was definitely surprising. Now, this was the only match on the card, the SmackDown Tag Team title match, that you could say was a bit predictable, but in the right way. Sometimes predictable is good because you're telling a good story, and the Bludgeon Brothers finally climbed the mountain and took the straps. Basically, Phil and I, the wrestling team, when we're not the Legion of Dude, obviously. I really enjoyed this match because it just got to show the brothers at their best, destroying everyone. Although, credit where credit is due, the mini short stack pancakes, that was pretty amazing. So, it's a moral victory for the New Day, even if it was a physical one for the Bludgeon Brothers. Wow, The Undertaker versus John Cena. I actually bought into the fact that this might not happen after the whole sort of fake out at the beginning of the match, and I'm glad that The Undertaker answered John Cena's challenge and whooped his ass. It was brilliant. It was the perfect match length for somebody who's coming out of retirement. The whole the theatrics of the cheesy lightning effect, the clothes disappearing in the ring and then him appearing at the top of the ramp. It went on for the right amount of time. Because if it gone on any longer, it would have exposed the fact that Undertaker is getting a bit older. And the fact that John Cena is, you know, now a part-timer. There was a few mistakes. I mean, John definitely went down a few times very early when there was no connection, but at the same time, this was thoroughly enjoyable and thematically as a package, with the beginning bit with Elias taunting him, saying that The Undertaker's not going to be here. Did you think that he was? And then getting his ass handed to him was the perfect theatrical package for WrestleMania. Now, Daniel Bryan and Shane. I'm so happy to see Daniel Bryan back in the WWE ring again. I wish it wasn't with Shane, but you know, you can't have it all. And his terrible worked punches and his dodgy pooper. No, seriously, he is quite ill and it's actually quite bad. He's got hernia surgery coming up, so I'm not going to make light of that. However, in an effort to prove once again that Shane McMahon is the toughest man in the world ever, he took most of the offense and the punishment in this match, and it kind of made Daniel Bryan's position look slightly weaker up until the very third and final act of the match, in which Daniel Bryan let loose and destroyed both Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. It was an incredibly satisfying ending, but a bit slow and clunky up until that point. Whoa! The Ronda Rousey, Kurt Angle, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon segment. This was the match of the night. And I did not think that that was going to be the case. It was so entertaining. It told a great story and it showed that Ronda Rousey is capable of hanging. Steph, maybe not so much. She did not take a bump or do much offense very well. However, Ronda sold like a champ, took bumps like a champ, and she won like an absolute champ. Everyone was on form in this match. All of my fears were completely dispelled the moment that Ronda squared up to Triple H, and I was like, yeah, this is it. This is exactly what I want it to be. It's a great story. Theatrically, it looked great. I am so happy with this match, and I definitely think it's the match of the night. Now, Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss. This is a more heartwarming story than I thought it was going to be, because leading up to this, I have a lot of problems when they do female storytelling, when they base it around what a person looks like, or, you know, how fat Nia Jax was in this case, according to Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. But I'm glad that she won. She is now the new Raw Women's Champion. And I think that that's a positive move, because not only is she an absolute monster in the ring, she's now got the platform to be like, I am the big person to beat. Like, you're going to have to bring a lot. And it's going to basically sow the seeds as how Alexa Bliss is going to try and recapture that title. Is she going to get even more underhanded with her tactics? Can't say that the match was particularly entertaining all the way through, but the spots were basically big bumps. And that finish as well from the top rope Samoan drop, that was the right way to end that. Absolutely crushed her. Well done, Nia. AJ Styles versus Shinsegae Nakamura. Shinsuke's opening was insane, by the way. Having guitarist from Alice Cooper, the female guitarist from Alice Cooper, doing an incredible rendition of his intro music, that got us absolutely pumped. The match itself should have been an indie darling's wet dream. I can't say it delivered fully. It was a great match, don't get me wrong, but as anyone who's seen these guys wrestle before can tell you, they have wrestled better many times more around the world. Now, I think my main problem is that it was just quite slow. It was a slow building match, and I think that people were very tired from the previous matches that have been going on, and I think that they needed a bit more adrenaline, a bit more chaotic, maybe a few false finishes. But then again, you have to respect two veterans of the industry, maybe taking their time and trying to tell a different, more subtle story, and the ending was very heartwarming. And by heartwarming, I mean Shinsuke fucking kicked him in the bowels, and it was lovely. Shinsuke heel turn, that was the best bit about the match. So going forward, there's going to be a lot of fun in store. Well, I didn't think I'd be sitting here telling you that the new Raw Tag Team Champions were Braun Strowman and a kid called Nicholas that he hoofed out of the crowd. But yeah, that's true. Yeah, Braun Strowman and some 11-year-old are now the Raw Tag Team Champions. They've dismantled the Bar, embarrassing them in the process and possibly destabilising the future of the Raw Tag Team division, or the credibility of it, at least. But still, the match was entertaining. It was weird. It was a lot of theatrics of just sort of Braun and a kid wrestling Cesaro and Sheamus. I can't fault it technically. It was entertaining and there was some very big spots in it, but in terms of the story, I think it pissed a lot of people off. I think that this maybe isn't the right way to do it, and tomorrow we're probably going to see a relinquishing of the belts and Braun having to find a new tag team partner, which I think could have been a better storyline if he'd just come out and just said, I don't know who my tag team partner is because no one's good enough. And he just says, the next person who comes down to the ring, they're going to be my tag team partner. Cue a rush of people, cue a big fight on the top. That person comes out, maybe Kurt Hawkins, just for a laugh. And then that could have been a better storyline. But that didn't happen. I'd say that that's... I don't want to call it a weak match. It was just very, very different. And I don't want to criticise something that might be a charity stunt. So let's just say it was unique. And the main event... Yeah. Not too sure about that one. 6 F5s to put Roman Reigns down. 6 F5s. It took 3 to put The Undertaker away. He's twice as hard as The Undertaker, is he? Bleeding hard way. I personally don't agree with that. I think in this day and age, with the WWE's health and safety, especially with concussions, especially with having Daniel Bryan just return after obviously all of his massive concussion-related woes, I think to have somebody getting beamed in the face by a giant tumor-looking muscle that is Brock Lesnar is probably in bad taste, and it was a heavy cut as well. Like, I know a lot of people don't like Roman Reigns, but I don't think that anyone deserves that, so I have to say that the taste of that match was pretty poor. Sidgwick said that this match was very entertaining. I thought that it was just by the numbers. It was 3 or 4 moves on repeat, Groundhog Day scenario. I thought that I had drunk too much and that I'd actually started to repeat in my own mind, because I swear it was the same kick out at exactly the same pinpointed second 4 times. You judge a pay-per-view by how it left you feeling, the final match. And this left me feeling very confused because I think that Roman should have won. I think he should have done, because they're clearly positioning him as this conquering warrior. And now it's still with Brock. He's still the champion. Where do we go from here? Who's actually going to beat him? Are we getting tired of these types of matches? I don't know. And when you're leaving the biggest pay-per-view of them all and you're saying, I don't know, then maybe that's not a good sign. However, the strength of the rest of the card and the craziness that was going on, I definitely had a lot of fun with this. I can't say it's the best WrestleMania I've seen. I definitely can't say that. However, the twists, the changes of the titles, making sure that it was unpredictable, that actually plays into the WWE's favour, because they've been told that they're being stagnant in every other way. But then again, to have that final match, I don't know. Let me know what you think about this down in the comment section below. I'm genuinely torn on this. If I were to give it a rating out of 10, I'd say that it's a 7.5. But it could have been so much more because it had such potential. I'm definitely walking away feeling confused, but positive, happy. I kind of need my wheel of feel, the emotion wheel that I have on insane things. I genuinely don't know how to feel. Is it in here? Is it actually in it? Yeah, it is in here. Here we go. I'll tell you what, I'm just gonna spin this, and this is how I'm gonna end it. I feel, what's that?
Positive.
I feel positive about it. It's been a great night, and you know what it has. We saw ups and downs in our own personal things. You can go watch the stream because there is a new WhatCulture champion, and I tell you what, I had an absolute giraffe doing it. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know down in the comment section below what you thought. As always, I've been Jules, you've been awesome, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye. Yeah.